Today we're looking at the best settings on eBay, things that you can set up that will make your life so much easier on eBay. We're going to show you how to find them and what they do. Hey, it's Don. Today we're going to look at some of the top features, top settings on eBay that everyone out there who sells on the platform should know about. These are features that can help you automate things. These are features that can do things for you without you having to ever worry about them, such as leaving feedback automatically, canceling orders after 4 days automatically, and many other aspects. Now, many people are unaware when I've talked about these in many past videos, so we're going to go every step of the way and show you actually how to find them. We're going to show you where to click, how to go through the process of setting them up, and we're going to talk about the most important aspects of all of these. Many of these features are new. They have been changed. eBay is constantly updating how seller preferences and site preferences work, so many of you may not be aware of many of these changes. So let's look at it now, and we'll show you how to do it yourself. Now, some of the most important settings can be found if you go up to your name on the top left. You can easily go down to Account Settings. From Account Settings, this screen will open up, and what you want to click is right down here in the bottom where it says Selling Preferences. Now, under the Selling Preferences, there are several good options in here that you really honestly need to address. Now, one of the biggest ones that most people are unaware of is Preferences for Items Awaiting Payment. If you click on the Edit button over there, and from here is one of the biggest options. Most people don't seem to know where it's at. If you want eBay to automatically cancel a listing because the person hasn't paid after 4 days, you can click the actual button over here and it will do that for you. So basically it will change your settings so that every time someone doesn't pay after 4 days, it is going to automatically cancel that listing. Now, this has been an option I've talked about for quite some time. This has replaced the old way you would file an unpaid item case. Nowadays, you can just set it up to cancel it for you. It's supposedly supposed to ding the person who didn't pay to begin with as well, just like the old option that we had. But in this case, you have nothing else to do. So again, you will automatically have them closed up for you and canceled the minute the person doesn't pay after 4 full days. If you're paying attention to the emails when you purchase something, it actually tells you that you have 4 days to pay for the item before the transaction may be canceled. Now, there are some other preferences like the return preferences and things like that, but I do all of that through the actual business policy section, which we will show you in just a minute here. Now, I also use the multi-quantity listing option. Listings stay active when you're out of stock. So if you have multiples of some items, and we have multiples of hundreds and hundreds of items in our store, it doesn't show the multiples in the listing. When it goes to 0, we just add another quantity and we don't lose or end those listings. And another one that I honestly do recommend is buyers can see exactly how many items are left. I always turn that off. I do not let the buyer see how many of any item that I have. That helps to create a sense of urgency because they don't know if it's 1 or they don't know if it's 20. So assumption-wise, if they really want something, they'll need to get it and buy it before the last one is gone. So that's why I don't turn that one on either. Obviously, you have the blocked buyers list. You can add and take off and make exemptions for people. The whole works. You can set up as well your monthly bill, your monthly invoice. So I've got mine set up for a downloadable CSV file. So that is what's there for me. I also receive an email with detailed invoice. Again, you can turn that off and not worry about it if you do not want to. And one big feature here that a lot of people do not know about is apply account credits to my amount due. So if you've got credits coming and you don't check this, you will have to wait to your next bill. Otherwise, you can just go ahead, click this option here, and it will apply any credits that eBay owes you for fees or something, wrong charges or refunds or anything else like that, to your actual bill, and that will lower what you have to pay. Now, these are newer features. They've changed everything around. You can see they still have some notices here about things that have changed, but those are key ones in this aspect under selling preferences that you should pay attention to. Obviously, there are some other ones here on the side. If you're leaving on vacation, time away is another good one. Manage communications with buyers is another one as well. We're going to look at some more of these in just a second here also. Now, some of these options may not be available depending on your store level, so keep that in mind. Another big one I always use is right here on the left side, and it's business policies. When you click on business policies, it opens up this page right here. Now, I've got a standard payment policy for every single listing I have up. All of my listings have the same payment policy as well as return policy. So there's nothing I have to do. I also have them both set up for default. Now, you can create as many as you want. So if you've got other payment policies for certain items, say local pickup or whatever you're doing, you can set up other payment policies or return policies. Now, with the return policy I have it set up so that local U.S. shipments get free return shipping. But if someone's buying internationally, they have to pay for return shipping. That is completely allowed on eBay, so you can set it up any way you want. Now, on shipping wise, I do have multiples on shipping. As you can see, I have 6 different policies that cover every item that I sell. Some items, say 4 pounds and up, do not have an international option on them because first class international shipping stops at 4 pounds. I don't ship anything the more expensive route overseas or any other way. So if it's over 4 pounds, the item does not get sent out of the country. You can set these up any way you want. The same basic principle applies with any of these. Let's just take a look at my main one here. This is my default shipping method for most of my items. Anything 16 ounces or less is what this is. Now, some people get confused on first class standard U.S. shipping. At the post office, I believe the max weight you can get for first class at the post office is 13 ounces. If the item weighs up to 16 ounces, though, from an online purchase, you can get it as first class rate also. This is basically how I have everything set up, basically the same way. It's got cost varies to buyer's location. I use calculated shipping based on weight of the item and the buyer's location. And right here, I do still offer the global shipping program because in some cases, someone may want to buy from me from a country that I do not directly ship to. All the countries you see I have checked off here, I ship directly to them. If it's not on this list, they have to go through the global shipping program. Never had an issue for it. When I'm sending out stuff overseas as well, I do have a 30-cent actual handling cost for those items to help defray the costs of those items. Knowing the classes of shipping and what can ship to where and weights and all that sort of thing is very important when you're setting this up. I've got, say, medium mail 1 to 4 pounds. That's because over 4 pounds, again, can't go first class international. So if it's medium mail over 4 pounds, it's U.S. shipping only. So again, that's why I have 2 different versions of most of these types here. First class only goes up to 16 ounces, so that's all I have. All of my shipping options are set up for calculated shipping only. That way, if anything changes whatsoever with the post office, it's automatically updated to match whatever the current costs of shipping are. So if you're including shipping into your item for free, you're going to have to recalculate each one of your items to assess the cost of shipping. That is one of the drawbacks. So many people do mess up and can lose a few bucks when they aren't paying attention when shipping costs change. It'll mean that you'll have to go in and change a ton of things manually, possibly one by one. Calculated shipping, in my opinion, for what we ship, for our items here, is the best choice because I never have to mess with change, move stuff around or anything. Now there is another important section here. Again, we're in the hub one more time. Automation preferences. Again, you may not have this depending on your store level, so keep that in mind. So if you don't have it, it may be based on your store level. But let's click on automation preferences right now. So this is what pops up when you click on automation preferences. Now, one of the biggest ones that I love on this page here is to automatically leave feedback for a buyer. So if a buyer pays for something in our store, they automatically get good feedback from us. You can set it up by the options right here. In the following situations, buyer has paid for this item, it will actually post them for it. Now you can have it if they leave positive feedback for you, you will automatically leave positive feedback for them. Now in my mind on something like this, the minute the buyer pays for the item, their commitment to the sale is done and they've went through and did everything they need to do to get positive feedback. I would never hold up feedback for somebody based on them leaving feedback first. It is my presumption that, again, if they've paid for it in a timely manner, I'm just going to leave them feedback and be done with it. I did what I was required to do. It looks good from the buyer's aspect that you went out of your way, again, and made sure to leave them feedback as soon as they paid. Now, you can change what is written on those too. Now, if you click up here where it says Edit Stored Comments, you get a list of comments that you can post. Now, I have them all set up the exact same way. You can set up multiple different ones just like you see here, and they can each be different if that's what you want. Now back to automated preferences here. Emails eBay sends for you. Now you can manage these as well. There are some options in here that you can change and such forth. So if you click with Manage Communications with Buyers, this page comes up here. Now some of them are already set up. There's not a whole lot you can do with some of these. Buyer checks out. So you can send order confirmation. Order is updated with shipping information. So when you actually add tracking, eBay sends on your behalf an email to them with the tracking number included. Now here's another one. If your buyer hasn't left feedback after about a month, eBay will send them a notice reminding them to please leave feedback. This is, again, another reason I would never ever recommend asking a buyer to please leave feedback. If the buyer doesn't want to, I never ever do anything. You can send a thank you note, please leave feedback or something like that, but I wouldn't do anything else like that. In some cases, asking a buyer if they would please leave feedback or stating, hey, it's been a little while, can you leave feedback, or why haven't you left feedback? In many cases, that could get you a negative feedback for bothering them. I have seen it far too many times when someone is asked, hey, please leave feedback, they have gotten a negative feedback. So I personally would never ever recommend doing that. Just personally, my opinion, I never ever address that to a buyer directly. I let eBay deal with it. If they don't leave feedback, fine, and I move on. Now, another option on here, which a lot of people are unaware of, you can choose to have us send a payment reminder if your buyer hasn't paid after a couple of days. If you click it like I have here, after a few days, eBay will send a reminder stating, hey, this item is still there. You've got so many days to pay for it. Now, many of these options, including this one, may not be on in your store. You may have to physically go in and turn these on. So one option down here, which many people aren't aware of as well, these have constantly been changing, is what your buyers can do. Now, we're going to click on the edit option here, and it's going to open up another screen for us. So once you open up this here, I've got send a message at checkout when they pay. This sends them a little message here and tells them, hey, thank you, and the whole works. Now this next option, send you messages on eBay while they're shopping. So if someone's out buying or looking in your store, they can drop you a message. Now keep in mind, you have to let buyers send you messages if you give out your phone number or don't have frequently asked questions. Now I do not give out my phone number. I do not share my phone number openly with anybody. Now that is an option I would never recommend anybody using if you work out of your home or you want some more privacy. I would never recommend giving out a phone number if you're selling on a specific site, someone else's site like eBay, Etsy, Amazon. Now if you've got your own site, I would honestly recommend giving out your phone number and having a specific phone number just for business. Next one down, as you can see, is share answers to your frequently asked questions. So I've went in here and filled out some of these. That way they don't have to worry about emailing me. Prior to them being able to email me, they will be shown my frequently asked questions. When they look at the frequently asked questions, many times they won't need to email me, and it will eliminate the need for you to answer many emails. As long as you fill in, create, or answer all of the basic frequently asked questions, you can have many of your customers' concerns resolved without ever having to bother you at all. all. You can add as many questions as you want to resolve any of your buyer issues. Again, you will be answering less emails and helping the buyer immediately. They would not have to wait to find out what your answer is for some of the most basic options out there. I would honestly recommend everybody, if you do not have a FAQ section on here, to go in and set one up. Now, moving back to automated preferences one last time here. Now, you can have eBay send you a notice if some of your automation rules fail. They will tell you this one didn't update or this didn't post or anything like that. That information, actually, some of it does show up on your summary page in your hub already. It will tell you how many possible feedbacks are needed to be left that didn't get posted when certain activities happen. Now, one of the bigger ones, too, is listings automation schedule. Now, if you click suspend my items from being automatically listed and relisted, I can put some dates in here, and when the 30 days is up, this should end your listings. They will not continue to auto relist. Now, if you want to turn it off, you just simply come back in here and remove the little checkbox, and it will actually start to relist them on its own automatically, just like it did before. Now, there is an option also if you're going to physically relist and sell similar. Either one of those options, you can click this here, and it will copy your listing automation preferences. So if you suspend them up here, any listings created from those original listings will also have those same automations. So if you turn it off on preferences, you sell similar, those new sell similar or relists would also be blocked from auto relisting. You just click the apply button once you check the one that you want. Now, all of these settings I've shown you are ones that I think everybody should at least know where they're at, know what they do. Many of them, as you can see, I do use because it benefits me. It can alleviate tons of time for you, such as leaving feedback. If you're unaware of these settings, I would honestly recommend checking them out. As you see, I've shown you how to get to them. We've discussed what they do. Many of these are super, super good options to use that I would recommend to anybody. Well, there we have it. Hopefully that gave you some ideas, some thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell all your friends.
What does a youngster look for in a Christmas toy? Fun, excitement. What do you look for? Same thing, of course, plus something else. Call it value. Here's a brand new toy that has both. The new Texaco jet fuel truck. Looks just like the real trucks you see at airports. It's built big and rugged, so your youngster can ride on it. And an exclusive steering mechanism makes it the most maneuverable toy truck you've ever seen. It's hard to outgrow a toy that's as much fun as this. But what about value? Well, the Texaco jet fuel truck is built of heavy gauge steel and made with a beautiful eye for detail. Best of all, it costs $4.98, though it compares to trucks costing 2 and 3 times as much. Charge it on your Texaco credit card. It's a great Christmas present for any boy or girl. And it's only at Texaco, where for fine quality products, trust your car to the man who wears the star.